Black teenage girl mistakenly arrested in front of a church for theft. Turns out her mother is a police captain. Have you ever been wrongly accused of something, especially in public, where you feel the weight of everyone's judgment on you? Imagine being just 16 in front of a church when suddenly, without warning, your whole world is turned upside down by people who are supposed to protect you. That's exactly what happened to Tiana on a quiet Sunday morning. The churchgoers at St. James Church were gathering for the usual Sunday service when chaos erupted. Tiana was just standing outside, waiting for her mother, when the sharp sound of police sirens pierced the air. Why were the police speeding toward her? What could possibly have gone wrong on this peaceful morning? The tension rose as the police car skidded to a stop in front of Tiana. Two officers jumped out, guns at their sides, and pointed directly at her. "That's her!" one of them yelled. Have you ever had that moment of pure disbelief, where you're certain reality is playing a cruel trick on you? Tiana stood frozen, her heart pounding as the officers closed in on her. Why were they coming for her? What had she done to deserve this? "You're under arrest for theft," one officer barked, his voice cold and authoritative. In an instant, handcuffs clicked shut around Tiana's wrists, the metal biting into her skin. "Wait, what? Theft?" Tiana gasped, her breath catching in her throat. The crowd that had gathered for the church service now stood in stunned silence. All eyes were on her. Some whispered in shock, while others stared in disbelief. Can you imagine being judged by a whole community, accused of something so shocking that you can't even wrap your mind around it? Tiana was no criminal. She was just a teenager, trying to go to church with her mother. But the officers didn't care. They had their orders. They believed they had their suspect. And in their minds, Tiana was guilty until proven innocent. As they led her toward the squad car, the murmurs from the crowd grew louder. Some even pulled out their phones to record. Others did nothing, merely watching as the officers dragged Tiana away. Why didn't anyone stop to question what was happening? Why didn't anyone stand up for her? Tiana's eyes filled with tears. "I didn't do anything," she shouted, her voice cracking. But the officers ignored her pleas, and the whispers of the crowd only grew. Do you think the truth matters when the damage is already done? Suddenly, amidst the chaos, a voice rang out, loud and full of authority. "Let her go." The crowd parted as a woman marched toward the scene, her face set in a fierce expression. It was Tiana's mother, Captain Lisa Anderson, the police captain of their district. But none of the officers recognized her. What would you do if you saw your child being humiliated like this, knowing it was a mistake? "Step back, ma'am. We're making an arrest," one of the officers said, putting up his hand to block Captain Anderson's path. "That's my daughter," Captain Anderson thundered, pushing past the officer's hand with a force that made him stumble back. Her words hung in the air, and for a moment, the entire crowd froze. Could the officers really be this blind to what they had done? The officers exchanged nervous glances. They had no idea who they were dealing with. "We have orders to arrest her," one of them said, his voice faltering. "She matches the description of the thief." Captain Anderson's eyes narrowed as she stepped forward, her face inches away from the officer. "You arrested a teenage girl without checking your facts, without verifying your information? And you did this in front of her community. Do you think they realize the gravity of their mistake?" The officer hesitated, his bravado starting to crumble. We were told a black girl was seen fleeing the scene of a theft nearby," he stammered. And there it was. The truth laid bare for everyone to hear. A vague description, based on nothing more than skin color, had led to this moment. How many times have we seen racial profiling lead to unjust arrests? How often do we hear about people being judged not by their actions, but by the color of their skin? Captain Anderson didn't flinch. Her voice dripped with fury as she said, "You didn't arrest a thief. You arrested an innocent girl. You humiliated my daughter in front of her entire community, and you did it based on nothing more than the fact that she's black." The crowd gasped. The tension in the air was palpable. The officers stood still, unsure of what to do next. They had clearly made a grave mistake, but now they were trapped. Would they admit their wrongdoing? Or would they dig their heels in and refuse to let go of their pride? Tiana, still in handcuffs, looked at her mother with a mix of relief and disbelief. She had never seen her mother so enraged, so powerful. But could even her mother fix this? Could anyone undo the damage that had been done? "Take the cuffs off of her. Now," Captain Anderson commanded, her voice low but dangerous.
If you've watched this far, comment which country you're watching from and leave a 100 in the comment section because you are type of person that likes to finish what they started. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to get notified whenever we drop new videos.